Hey guys, just a reminder, if you want to hear all of these wonderful B Plus podcast episodes completely ad-free, make sure you head over to Patreon or Podbean, where we are the featured podcast this week. You can subscribe for as little as $1 a month up to $10 a month, where anything you want to help us with, it really helps out. It's going to help us grow the site. It's going to help us redesign some things, and everything that we get through this and through the advertising as well is all going straight back into the podcast so that we can get Aussie Graps out there for the rest of the world to hear about, for the rest of the world to see, so we can grow this mission of watch global, support local, and build indie wrestling. So if you want to be a part of that and get some really cool rewards like call-in shows, bonus episodes, ad-free like I mentioned, then head over to patreon.com/theb+ and subscribe today.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Hold one. Andre.
You're not good at this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
Oh my God.
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy. Goodbye and good night. Hold two. On bar.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Dummy. Yeah.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
Hold three. Lamas covers. Three-handle family credential.
Mamma mia.
And now,
Unchained.media presents the B Plus Podcast with your host, Greg Unchained.
It's me, Austin. It was me all along, Austin.
number 4, armbar.
I will never retire.
I still got 200 more. I got 200 more holes to list.
All right, fellow B Plus players, welcome to the B Plus Podcast. Today is Tuesday. You know what that means. Psych, you don't, because normally we do this episode on Wednesday. However, King of Sports Day is usually Wednesday, but today we're doing it. Why are we doing it today, Mikey?
Well, tomorrow is the wife. Sorry, let's start that again. Tomorrow is the birthday of my wife. You can which all you want. It's fine. No, it's the it's the missus' birthday, so we did a family dinner tonight, and I'll have her proper birthday tomorrow night. So I had to choose either tonight or tomorrow night to do the King of Sports, so I had to go with tonight. So
Fair enough. I'll have you know that on my daughter's birthday, I went out to do an interview with the Rampage Dojo guys in the morning. Got home, did a bit of the party, snuck in here to do a podcast in the afternoon, and then went back out to put her to bed. So you know, I'm starting to question your commitment here, Mikey.
Hey! I'm here at 11:30 on the Monday night. I'm here.
Yeah,
I will not. Hey, hang on. Despite, I guess you had a legitimate reason, but I've never missed a King of Sports episode, Mister Wavering. I mean,
well, hang on, wavering. I do 4 or 5 of these a week at least. Tell me I'm wavering, man.
I'm just talking King of Sports universe.
I have a double hernia. I'm allowed to be on bed rest once in a while.
I'm just saying, I've been doing a lot of solo King of Sports in the last 6 months.
I had a chest infection. I had a chest infection, and the coughing just made it get so much worse. And I've been icing it. I've been feeling better, but I will admit this, I am exhausted. I got the numbers wrong on yesterday's Royal Rumble cast. I said that I'd watched 36 hours of wrestling over the weekend. I was wrong. It was 34 hours of wrestling. So I actually tallied it all up, and with 10 plus hours of Ring of Honor and 7 hours of WWE, 4 hours of NXT, because I include the pre-shows because I watch the pre-shows. So that you've got NXT as well. I had MLW, Impact, Wrestle Rock dropped on the weekend, Underworld Wrestling dropped on the weekend. There was a Dragon Gate show that I watched with Aiden, and I also watched about 3 hours worth of catch up on Stardom while I was editing and what have you. And yeah, so I watched 34 hours of wrestling in one weekend.
You're insane. That's insane.
Yeah, the things I do for you people. I watch 34 hours so that you can just listen to me blab on for 5. No one wants to do that. No, I had fun though. It was a really good weekend, and I think that possibly one of the Ring of Honor shows we're going to talk about tonight might have been the best show of the week. No, NXT Takeover, but the Ring of Honor show actually was fairly close. But we'll get to it. We'll get to it. What are the things that you wanted to talk about for King of Sports this week?
I guess just go through the 4 different promotions. Last week I changed up the way that I do CMLL now instead of running through results, because I'm actually I sound like it shouldn't sound like I'm pushing myself. It's it's entertaining stuff. I'm actually making myself watch all 3 YouTube shows a week now, which are nearly 2.5 hours long each. So I'm actually watching nearly 7 hours of CMLL a week now.
Right.
And instead of running down results and talking about all 3 shows, I'm just choosing like 3 of my favorite matches of the week. Talking about my 3 favorite matches and just talk about any upcoming news and that. So changed up that a little bit last week, and I'll do that this week. But New Japan and RevPro both kind of quiet through the last 7 days. There was a show in RevPro over the weekend, and one Road to New Beginning show that was a dark one, so that we don't get to see. But upcoming is very busy week for New Japan. So where do you want to start this week? Do you want to start with Ring of Honor, or do you want to start?
No, let's start across the pond in the UK.
Yeah.
Then we'll come back to America via Mexico over to Japan to close things out, which brings us back to America for part of Japan as well. So we'll get to all that. Let's definitely. I think we should start in England with Revolution Pro.
Yeah,
I'm still behind on my RevPro watching. I have not yet got to the New Year's resolution show, which has been uploaded now. So I'm still a little bit behind. But what's been happening in RevPro, Mike?
Yeah, mate, so
hit us with the news.
Yeah, so still pretty quiet. So there were 2 shows over the weekend. I have yet to see any results, like even on the message boards or anything. Nothing of the Revolution Rumble. I know the winner is Curtis Chapman. I just do not know who else was in it. I do know Great Khan was in it. I just don't know anything else. I know Great Khan was the last to be eliminated. I just don't know any other results of anything else on that show.
Does that count towards, like, because Great Khan is undefeated, right? So does that count as a loss?
I don't know. We were I was reading a note about this, and actually I saw some comments. And I said, hey, like, WWE don't even count like a Rumble loss or a thing as an undefeated thing. So I guess I don't know. I count singles, like pins and submissions. I don't count battle royals and rumbles and that sort of stuff as.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a hard one.
It's an interesting situation, but
unfortunately, I don't have much else feedback and results on that. I'm sure that will be up on demand soon. However, there was a RevPro Live in Bristol show this weekend. A couple of changes to that card happened due to Will Ospreay. I can put it in here, or I can put it in New Japan later on. But Will Ospreay has a broken toe. I don't know how long that puts him out for. Broken toe, especially with the way that Will jumps around. I don't know how much that affects him for a couple of weeks.
Kind of unrelated here, but I want to address this. Will Ospreay was a dick on Twitter today.
Will Ospreay has always been a dick. I love him. I love him to death, but yeah, he's always been a dick in a good way. Like he's an entertaining dick, but
no, this was not in a good way. He specifically he tweeted out. This will probably end up in the Purocast when we do one, but he tweeted out about two girls that were going over to Japan, and he sent them messages letting them know that he doesn't think they're ready for this and they should take it seriously because it's not a holiday. And then he said he's happy to say that Bobby Tyler is really stepping up her game and putting on good shows and stuff. And of course, he said he messaged 2 girls, right? So he was like, why is everyone upset? I'm being nice here. No, because you said explicitly you messaged 2 girls who were going over to Japan, and then you only said one of them was doing a good job. You said Bobby Tyler was doing a good job. It's very clear by omission. The 2 UK girls, I mean, Jamie Hayter is from the UK as well, but she quite regularly goes to Stardom, so obviously he's not talking about her. The 2 girls that have done their first tour of Stardom this month were Bobby Tyler and Sadie Gibbs. I personally have been very high on Sadie Gibbs. She's been doing a fantastic job over there. This is for Stardom, though, so that'll go in a different podcast. But you mentioned Will Ospreay, and I just wanted to point out that Will Ospreay was a dick, and I like Sadie Gibbs, and she had to leave. She had to leave the tour because her someone in her family passed away.
Oh,
and he's like leaving her out of the tweet, calling her out on Twitter, like not calling her out, but like he's praising someone else, and clearly it was just a dick move. I wasn't a fan, and we all know Will Ospreay is one of my favorite workers in the world. Right, I'm very close to putting him probably as Wrestler of the Year last year for me personally, but man, just sometimes you got to know when to not talk.
And those 248 characters, 260 characters, whatever it is, can get some people in trouble very quickly. But yes, well, I mean, he's out of action for a couple of weeks. I really hope it doesn't cost him the match against Park. Hope not. It's still 2 weeks away. A broken toe. It's really a pretty flippy guy. It'd be interesting. However,
he can't stand without a toe, can't run without a toe, can't jump without a toe.
So he was pulled from this show, obviously, and you had some concussion issues, so she had to pull out of the shows too. So they reshuffled and replaced both of those. So the results, and I've got some feedback. These will be on demand within the next, I'm guessing over the next 5 days. They'll go from not uploading anything for like 2 weeks, and I'll upload 3 or 4 shows in a hit, which can be frustrating. But yeah, so some good results. I'm not going to go with undercard. Just going to talk. So Aussie Open defeated. Who are also the number 1 contenders for the tag titles at the moment. They defeated the RevPro Cruiserweight Champion David Starr and Rob Lias. Great Khan continued his undefeated singles reign against Shigehiro Iri. I still can't pronounce that right. Irie, thank you. I think I botched it last week on my own, but anyway. Charlie Evans, our Australian's Charlie Evans, she replaced you in the tag with Sami Zayn.
I wasn't scheduled. I know what you're talking
about. Well, Charlie Evans did pick up the victory. She was with Sami Zayn. They defeated Chardonnay and Zoe Lucas. And the Will Ospreay and El Phantasmo match was obviously called off. So El Phantasmo was added to the main event, making it a triple threat. Phantasmo, Brooks, and MK McKinnon. And the reports I have read is it was fucking insane. It was a Falls Count Anywhere 3-way match. So you can imagine how psyched those are between 3 amazing Brit talents there. Yeah. Other than that, like I said, very quiet week in RevPro. They still haven't made too many more announcements about high stakes. I'm for your call on Feb 15, 16, I can't think of the official date, but 2 weeks away. I'm not too sure when the news will drop. I'm sure it'll be this week, but other than that, very quiet week in RevPro, other than Ospreay being a dick and breaking his toe. But I look forward to, in about 2 weeks, hopefully that match doesn't get fucked up. I'm talking about Ospreay and Park. Like, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, that does it for me in the old lady. What about you? Anything else you got to talk about in the Rev Pro land?
Absolutely not. Let's take it over to Mexico.
Yeah.
CMLL.
Yeah, so it's North America we go. So yeah, let's start in Mexico. So yeah, like I said last week, I changed it up. How I break down CMLL. In the past, I was just giving you results and just talking about things I liked. However, this way, I'm just going to, because I'm watching 3 shows, I obviously don't want to run down 3 sets of results. It can get quite tedious. We don't want to do that. So yes, I'm just going to run down 3 of my favorite matches of the week, or 3 of my favorite moments, or whatever. So for me, first up on Super Friday show, the Arena Mexico show, Templario and Soberano Jr., who were just on the Fantastica Mania tour.
Right, so everyone's back.
Everyone's
now.
back. Sorry, I should have noted that. Everyone's back in the country in full swing. I think they've got the Universal tournament starting next week, the Universal title tournament. So that's they're into a very full swing mode now. CMLL, they got a bit of exposure with the New Japan tour. So some of these guys are on a high still. But this match, essentially, I talked about it last week in my upcoming notes for next week. Templario and Soberano Jr., both these guys, they did a phenomenal job on the Fantastic Mania tour. 2 of the highlight reels of that. They had a lightning match, 10-minute time limit, 1-4. It was the 4th match of the night. Fucking just highlight reel, just fantastic. Soberano Jr. picked up the win here. Fantastic match. These 2 guys you're going to hear a lot about over the next 4 or 5 years. Like, they're going to be the two of the new gen collection, along with like Sanson and all that. Just phenomenal. Also from the Wednesday show for us, the Arena Mexico show, New Values. Niebla La Roja and Mephisto headline that show. Usually the Tuesday headline shows aren't exactly the best matches of the night, but these 2 went ham. Just phenomenal. Mephisto, I think he's late 40s, maybe early 50s. He's just like, these Mexican guys, some of them get better with age, and it's ridiculous. Like, I'm sure Mysterious One has talked about it with us over the last couple of days. LA Park, like 51 years old, had like hell of a match with Sammy Callahan on MLW. These luchas guys are just, they get better with age. Some of them just, they're fantastic. But yeah,
I'm not convinced it's the same guy. There's a mask. There's a suit. I don't buy it. It's all a work. We're getting worked. He's actually someone completely new.
Look, there is 2 La Parkas out there, but the one on MLW is the real one. So, well, I mean, they can fake it still, but it is a real one, according to...
For all we know, it's Kenny Omega under there, right? Like, I mean, there's no way to know.
You never know. It could literally just be, I don't know. Yeah, it could be anyone under that. But yeah, that was a fantastic match. That was a 2 out of 3 falls match, traditional, just one-on-one. Niebla La Roja, who's the brother of Angel De Oro, who was like a superstar on the Fantastic Mania tour. He picked up the win here. Fantastic match. And then finally, back to the Super Friday show, the main event. This is Los Ingobernables versus Pentagon, Phoenix, and Diamante Azul. Oh, just fantastic, fun match. They're building something with Rush and Penta here, or Ingobernables versus Penta and Phoenix, or something. I prefer something to do with Rush and Dragon Lee and Mystico versus Penta and Phoenix, some sort of version. This Los Ingobernables, I'm getting a little bit frustrated with a bit of it. Obviously, Rush is amazing. Terrible is okay. He's all right. Labesha de Ring, Rush's dad. He's old as fuck, and he's just very lazy and sloppy. So I'd rather Rush do something with like Dragon Lee or Mystico against these 2, but they're building something big between Rush and Penta, which is kind of interesting because it's kind of MLW versus Ring of Honor there at the moment. But
yeah, well, I mean, are they even going to be able to pay it off? Because Rush has signed an exclusive contract with Ring of Honor, or is that only exclusive in America?
Well, he has noted that obviously any time that Ring of Honor says, hey, you're performing, he's obviously dedicated to Ring of Honor, but any downtime, he will go back to CMLL. So, which I like that. That.
Well, I mean, they're in a relationship anyway.
Exactly.
For now,
but
so,
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So in Ring of Honor, it still hasn't been announced or anything, but I'm guessing Dragon Lee's on his way to Ring of Honor. where Roosh goes, Dragon Lee usually follows. Don't know about Mystico, but Dragon Lee will follow Roosh to Ring of Honor, no doubt. But yeah, fantastic week in CMLL again. Full card, full rosters going. Next week, I do want to hype up. If anyone wants to watch an awesome show, this, well, an Australian audience. I'm talking to an Australian audience. So this Saturday, 10 a.m. You've got. There is a tournament, so it's the Universal Champion Tournament. It's featuring Caristico, Dragon Lee, Valiente, Stuka Jr., El Terrible, Cavernario, Gran Guerrero, and Forestero from the New Dynamiters. This is the first phase, so I think there's 4 phases. So every week for the next 4 weeks, there'll be a tournament. Tournament play in Mexico, tournament play in anywhere in the world is fun. You get the best out of people or the worst. But yeah, so if you want to watch anything fun with CMLL, watch it on this Saturday at 10 a.m. on YouTube. It's all free on YouTube. CMLL giveaway, everything on YouTube, so it's amazing. But yeah, that's the week in Mexico. I don't know if I can talk about it now, but I am hoping to launch over the next couple of weeks a Lucha cast. We'll still leave CMLL in this roundup, but I'll go into depth with a bit more CMLL stuff, AAA, Crash, Lucha Underground, if and when it ever comes back. Things that happen in Major League, or I'll even talk about some of the Lucha guys that are on WWE main roster, like Andrade, etc. So yeah,
right.
Hopefully,
look, you've been talking about this Lucha cast for a while, but you finally found someone to do it with. So we're going to test the waters. We're going to see how it sounds. We're going to, but hopefully we've had a couple of people express interest as well. So if the first person we try doesn't work out, we can try someone else, and we'll keep you guys posted. But a Lucha cast appears to be coming soon.
Yeah, get excited.
Yeah. But now it's time for people to strap in as we go north of the border, because 3 huge cards there in Texas for Ring of Honor's Road to the G1 Supercard. 3 shows, 3 days. Here we go. Night 1, Marty Scurll defeats Rhett Titus. Not much to talk about there. Finjuice of Lifeblood defeat Alex Coughlin and Carl Fredericks from the LA Dojo. Now, look, we're going to talk about it soon. Everyone complains about how New Japan shows when they come to America are really just Ring of Honor shows. Can we talk about how these shows here feel like New Japan shows? Because okay, we're on a touring schedule, right? Ring of Honor, we're on a touring schedule. They've clearly adopted that from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Something like Marty Scurll versus Rhett Titus, that would normally come second after the Young Lions matches, but it still feels like a New Japan match in the way they're laying things out lately. With very clear rankings of talents, you know who's going to win the early matches. The early part of the card is kind of like, okay, if you just look at who's facing who, you know who's going to win. You can skip ahead to the second half where the good shit is about to go down. It feels like a New Japan card.
Yeah.
Right? And that's exacerbated by having these guys from the LA Dojo, which is fantastic. I love having young lions in Ring of Honor. They've got the black trunks, the black kick pads, the black knee pads, the black boots. They're young lions. They look just like young lions. They do the young lion moves. The match is built around getting that Boston Crab on or hitting the big drop kick. It's it's really good. It's really fun because the cool thing about the way they train in the New Japan dojos is they get those basics down hard, and I feel like the idea is, and I mean, I'm not there, so I don't know, but I feel like the idea is if you can have an entertaining match using just these 4 moves, then, and of course your opponent's stuff, but using just these 4 moves and whatever your opponent has, then you'll be able to do it when you add more to your arsenal, right? Like you'll be able to do it's just such a good foundation, and I really like watching it. And the Young Lions matches are really, really fun, and all 3 of the Young Lions on this tour did a really good job. But of course, Finjuice pick up the win. So it's a Young Lions match. Of course they're going to pick up the win. Then we get Shibata comes out for ringside for the next Young Lions match, and this one's Jeff Cobb defeating Clark Connors in a Proving Ground match, as if Clark Connors was ever going to win this Proving Ground match. But this one was this one was pretty good. He actually got the body slam on Jeff Cobb, and the announcers were like, "Whoa!" He hit the big drop kick. He locks in the Boston Crab, but Jeff Cobb bounces back, pushes him against the ropes, hits the Tour of the Islands, and we go home. Really fun match. Again, Young Lion matches are brilliant. Then we get Beer City Bruiser joining the announce table, and I love Beer City Bruiser. I'm on a real Beer City Bruiser kick lately. We've talked about this a few times. Dalton and the boys defeat Shane Taylor and the Briscoes by DQ. So essentially what happens here is Shane Taylor pulls the referee out, forcing the DQ. And then they beat down Dalton and the boys, and then Finn Juice, or Lifeblood, they're Finn Juice still to me. They come out for the save, and then Juice hypes up the main event, and he botches it. He botches the main event. He mentions, he's like, "Oh, you guys came here to see honor. These guys aren't being honorable, but in your main event, you got Tracy Williams and Mark Haskins, and they're gonna fight with plenty of honor." And he's hyping them up, I guess, because they're Lifeblood. But then the announcers have to go, they will be facing off against Gresham and Lethal, because he didn't say that it was a tag team match. It just sounded like Haskins and Hot Sauce were going to face each other. It was just a funny little botch, because Juice is he's Juice, and he's getting excited, and he feels so natural on the microphone. Juice Robinson.
Juice is just, every time I hear him on the mic, he's just getting better and better. Like, I don't know.
I feel like he just goes out there to talk to you. Like, he's not out there cutting a promo.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. 100%.
I don't know. He comes across very genuine. I do love me some Juice Robinson, and I think Ring of Honor are quite high on him based on the way this tour goes, and just sort of, the push that he seems to be getting as the leader of this Lifeblood stable. So then, we move on. Madison Rayne defeats Holodead, one half of the Twisted Sisters, of course. Thunder Rosa is at ringside. After Madison Rayne wins, they attack her, and out comes Sumi Sakai. Notepad, you are drunk. My notepad says Sumo Sakai. This is how tired I am. It's not Sumo Sakai, it's Sumi Sakai. She comes out for the save. Clearly, we're setting up a tag match for later in the tour. Matt Taven defeats Rocky Romero. It's pointed out that these guys are the only guys who hold titles in New Japan, Ring of Honor, and CMLL history, which is pretty cool little point here. And Matt Taven points out, but you've never held a world title, and neither of you, Matt Taven.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's got this purple monstrosity that he carries around that he calls, it's a beautiful belt, to be honest with you, but he calls it the real world title. And it's not the real world title, though. Jay Lethal has the real world title, although I understand why he's doing it, because he has been screwed. There is a conspiracy. Moving on. Matt Taven wins this.
Well, that's an interesting note. I never thought about that. Yeah, they're the two guys that have had titles in all three brands. Interesting. Yeah. And
he's one of only two people with Rocky Romero who has held titles.
Now I want them to win RevPro stuff. That make it a.
They haven't made their way to RevPro yet. Oh wait,
Rocky's done a little
has.
bit. I think Matt Taven's maybe done a little bit, but
I don't think he has. I haven't seen it, but like I'm only across like the last year or so with RevPro, so I could be way off. Anyway, Tag Wars starts now, so we got Tag Wars round 1. Villain Enterprises defeat the Kingdom. Nice short match here. Villain Enterprises are clearly getting a big push as well, along with Lifeblood. Bandito, who is another person who's getting a big push here. He's very strong throughout this tour. Bandito defeats Silas Young, which, Silas Young's a big deal in Ring of Honor. He's solid upper mid gatekeeper. So if you're beating Silas Young already, it's very clear they want you. Like, he could potentially go to the world title scene, like skip straight past the TV title scene. Although Bandito versus Jeff Cobb would be incredible.
Oh yeah! Oh my god!
Oh. Yeah, but he gets the win here with his 21 and up, the German suplex.
Oh yep.
This move is fucking incredible. It's like a handspring German. I can't even explain it, but he uses the ropes. They're bent over. He wraps around them like he's going to do a German. He handsprings on the ropes and then bounces back into the German. It's amazing. It just looks so pretty.
Yeah. It's just
But then after the match, Silas Young attacks Bandito's knee. So he pretends he's going to adhere to the code of honor. He goes for the handshake and then kicks the leg out of the leg, as it were, and it goes after the knee, and that becomes a recurring thing throughout the tour. Is Bandito's knee, which it comes into play. So then we get the main event, which is Gresham and Lethal defeating Hot Sauce and Haskins. Now, this show was quite good, but the thing is with Ring of Honor tour shows, these Honor Club shows where they do 3 in a row or whatever, I'm so used to the main event being some assemblage of Cody, Marty, Paige, the Young Bucks, and SCU, and the Briscoes as well, quite often. And that's just next level. And Gresham and Lethal, God bless him. Jonathan Gresham is one of my favorite wrestlers. You know, I'm a big fan of catch wrestling and that whole style. So it's, just, I don't know. It didn't feel like a big Ring of Honor tour show main event.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, that's interesting, but
it just didn't have the gravitas to it. And I was like, the show ended, and I'm like, oh, that was the main event. That was right. That was the main event, and that's not what you want at the end of a Ring of Honor show.
I don't. Yeah, I guess that transition period is still. It's still going to be interesting. Like I still have semi-casual fans and friends that watch, Ring of Honor and New Japan quite casually, and they're like, "Oh, I think New Japan and Ring of Honor are in trouble with losing." It's just like, you know what? In hindsight, it looked like maybe that it's going to be struggle losing such big names, but like we've said it a million times, Ring of Honor will always be fine. They've done it about 20,000 times. Rebuilt their rosters. I mean, half the fucking Royal Rumble today was pretty much ex Ring of Honor stars. So
yeah. Most NXT shows are primarily Ring of Honor
right?
guys.
Like I kept making bloody Evolve puns through it because I'm just like, it's pretty much the Evolve roster from about 5 years ago. 2 years ago. It's like Drew, Johnny Gargano. I'm like, man, this is all like.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see Johnny Gargano and Drew Gulak on 205 Live for the Evolve title. That's
wouldn't surprise me. But no, back to the Ring of Honor and New Japan roster thing. Like, yeah, look, some of these cards are going to kind of feel underwhelming to some people, but you gotta embrace guys. Like, I mean, you don't have to. I mean, you can't force people to embrace certain wrestlers if they don't find them entertaining. But like,
I don't think it was that the card was underwhelming though. I just think that this did not feel like a main event. If you switched it with the Villain Enterprises match, PCO and Brody King, they felt like a main event.
Yeah, PCO's just got that all over it, I guess.
Yeah, so I just feel like, and it's terrible because Lethal's the world champion, but Lethal doesn't feel like the main event unless he's against someone who feels like the main event. You put Lethal versus Taven, and maybe because they've built Lethal versus Taven really well, then it'll feel like it. But it doesn't feel the same as even Lethal versus Cody, right? It just doesn't. And that's an indictment on Lethal, unfortunately. Just these guys didn't get it done, for me at least, as a main event. Gresham and Lethal win the match, but then they get attacked by Shane Taylor, Silas Young, and the Briscoes, and then Finn Juice run in for the save, but they get beaten down. So they're really pushing this. They kept calling Bully and his friends, they kept calling them a plague on Ring of Honor. So they're really pushing this plague versus lifeblood. This new lifeblood is going to wipe the plague out and save us all and bring Ring of Honor back to an honourable promotion. It's a pretty cool story. I'm digging it. It's very good.
They're thinking a potential stable name of the Plague. Is it?
Well, that's what they kept calling on commentary. Ian Riccoboni kept saying these guys are a plague. These guys are a disease and a plague on Ring of Honor. Yeah, they said
Ring of Honor have always
times.
been good at stable names. I mean, Scum was just perfect. Decade, Kingdom, Age of the Fall. I mean, they just always nailed really good stable names. So I like Lifeblood is perfect. I love Lifeblood.
Yeah. I like Lifeblood a lot. Yeah, I don't know if I like the plague. Though. it feels very backyard wrestling. I don't know. Anyway, show 2. We should get on with it. Houston. This show looked empty. Like, it looked bad. The bouncers make their entrance from the bar, and they walk past like 30 million rows of empty seats. It was bad. They clearly booked a room that was too big for like it was the same size crowd, maybe slightly smaller crowd than night 1 and night 3, but the room was bigger, and so it looked bad. It was just really bad optics. Like if you were watching, you're like, ooh, Ring of Honor's on the. It was like remember when Impact would do the Impact Zone, and like half the fans were people who were clearly there because they were told, hey, you can go watch this free show, and they're like a tour group, and they've got tour group shirts on, and so it's just a bad.
It's
bad
hard
look.
because you want to kind of like book an arena to hopefully sell out more tickets, but sometimes the old famous saying is less is more. So like unfortunately, yes, some people may have to miss out on tickets, but if you can make an arena look full opposed to making a few extra bucks on more tickets and looking stupid on like with empty seats, it's a hard line to balance. I'm not a promoter.
I would say you're always better off selling out a small room than you are, half filling a big room. And even if it's the same amount of people, you're always better off selling out a small room. Even if it's a couple hundred less, you're better off selling out the small room because it looked better on film.
I mean, people are calling like for PWA to go a big arena because it's getting a little bit too small. It's like, but what happens if they go to a big arena and they don't sell out and doesn't have that same feel? Like, do you muck around with it? Do you, some places build these perfect little arenas, or you go to like PWG, for example, like that is the perfect less is more place. PWG could sell out 1,000 tickets a week if they wanted to. Like they've got that much of a fucking vibe, but they keep it small because it looks fucking amazing when it's,
Yeah. I think PWA could, like, I feel like PWA next year, they were telling me that when I spoke to Jack Bonza, he said that they're going to, this is Aussie talk again. We do this every time, but he said that they're going to look at doing the Coliseum tournament in one weekend next time. Right. So I feel like the theory is if they can fill that room out twice in a row, they can probably fill a bigger room. And I would like to see them move to the Horden because I used to watch roller derby games at the Horden Pavilion, and I feel like it could work potentially, but maybe not every show yet.
I mean,
definitely not yet. But anyway, we can talk about that on a PWA cast. Back to night 2 in Houston. So I don't know how far Houston is from Dallas. I don't know how far Houston is from San Antonio. But it could even be that people were like, I'm going to one of the others. I'm not going to go to this one. I don't know how close they are, so I don't know. Anyway, show looks empty. It's bad. Tag Wars round 1. Bouncers defeat the boys and advance on to the semifinals. Sumi Sakai defeats Thunder Rosa by DQ when Holidead interferes. So then out comes Madison, and she's like, let's do a tag. And then they attack, and, Todd Sinclair is like, yep, this is official. We're making it a match. He rings the bell. And then the Twisted Sisters win, which was surprising. I thought Sumi and Madison would win, but thankfully the actual tag team won.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
January is here, and we are fast approaching WrestleMania season. Royal Rumble and the road to WrestleMania are around the corner, so the time to dilly-dally is past us. If you want to experience WrestleMania live, and who doesn't, let's be honest, you deserve it. The best and really the only way to do it is with All Aussie Travelers. All Aussie Travelers are new to the wrestling travel package game, but they are veterans at travel, and they have put together a package that cannot be beaten. For less than $7,500, All Aussie Travelers are going to send you to New York, New York, with return flights, airport transfers, full accommodation, and tickets to the WWE Hall of Fame, NXT pre-show party, NXT TakeOver, WrestleMania, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live, and more. The coolest part about these packages is that for NXT TakeOver, Raw, and SmackDown, you are going to be seated in your own private VIP suite, normally not available to the public, but All Aussie Travelers have you covered, man. They got this locked down. It has its own bar, it has its own bathroom access, and all the luxuries that a VIP box comes with, not least of which, of course, an incredible view for everything happening in the ring. All of this for under $7,500. They're practically giving these packages away, man. You'd be crazy not to check it out. So head over to All Aussie Travelers on Facebook. The link is in the show notes. And tell them that the B Plus sent you. And let's go watch WrestleMania in style. Then we move on. Coast to Coast defeats Shinobi Shadow Squad, represented by Eli Isom and Cheeseburger, to advance to the semifinals of Tag Wars. Villain Enterprises, this is all three of Villain Enterprises, defeat the Young Lions, Alex Coughlin, Alex Coughlin, Carl Fredericks, and Clark Connors. Marty, this is my note for this match. Marty is wearing a shirt that says, "All my friends are dead." I love it.
Poor Marty, just had to sign that extra couple of month contract, right?
Yeah. What about Flip, Marty? Flip's still around. He's just injured. He's not dead.
He's broken.
Marty and Flip take Texas. Doesn't really have the same ring to it. Anyway, Matt Taven takes on Jonathan Gresham, except no, he doesn't, because he doesn't want to face Jonathan Gresham. So TK Orion takes the match instead, and he gets the win over Jonathan Gresham with his feet on the ropes. I feel like that's a big win for TK Orion. But again, this is a tour show, so you never know.
Yeah. TK Orion made a fan out of me last week against in Rush's debut. Like, I thought it was going to be a squash. I talked about it last week on the solo. Yeah, like I know TK Orion. I find him better than Taven. I know that's unpopular opinion, but I find TK Orion amazing. And last week he really impressed me against Rush.
Yes, anyway, TK Orion gets the win, feet on the ropes, bit of a cheap victory, but still pretty good. Marseglia comes in and they beat the shit out of Gresham, but out comes Lethal for this save. And, of course, Jay Lethal and Vinny Marseglia are scheduled for the main event. And maybe someone else backstage got the idea that I got last night, where maybe Jay Lethal can't really carry a main event, unfortunately, to the level that RAH should have. And it's not going to happen in the main event. It's going to happen right now. So Jay Lethal, Vinny Marseglia for the Ring of Honor World title. And, of course, Jay Lethal wins. We get the Women of Honor World Championship. Kelly Klein defeats Britt Baker. We know Britt Baker's going to lose because she's signed to All Elite Wrestling. Really awkward on commentary. Riccaboni is like, oh, you know, what could happen with the title here if Britt Baker wins? I mean, we know there's speculation about where Britt Baker may end up. No, there's not. There's no speculation. She signed a contract. We saw her at the press conference. There is no speculation. We know where she ends up. Why are you pretending we don't know this? Which brings me to another note. Every single shirt in this crowd, and the crowd after it, and the crowd before it, every single shirt is Elite related. There are Kenny Omega jackets and shirts. There are, Change the World. There are All Elite Wrestling. There are Young Bucks. There are Bullet Club shirts, of course, still, but I still count that as relating to the Elite. There were a couple Villain Enterprises shirts, but yeah, pretty much the entire crowd was decked out in Elite gear and All Elite Wrestling gear. A few of those really nice All Elite Wrestling hoodies, a couple of AEW shirts. And I couldn't help but wonder just how Ring of Honor let that happen.
Well, I mean, they believe in the freedom of speech through the t-shirt. Unfortunately, not every company allows you to wear an All Elite Wrestling shirt to their show. WWE.
Yeah, so of course we're talking about it went viral on Twitter during the Royal Rumble. Someone was forced to take off an All Elite Wrestling shirt.
I understand. I understand it. I don't like it, but I understand it. But Ring of Honor obviously can't afford to go that route. But
I understand it from an emotional reactionary point of view, but I don't understand it from a business perspective, because nobody watching the Royal Rumble is looking at the shirts in the crowd. And if they do happen to see it and they don't know what AEW is already, like if they know what AEW is and they see it, they'll be like, hey, a guy in an AEW shirt. If they don't know what it is, they're not going to fucking Google what's on some guy's shirt in the front row at the Royal Rumble. That's not going to happen.
Fair point.
So it's stupid. It's stupid to do that. But when you do that, it gets all the publicity of, oh, look, WWE are forcing people to change their shirts. But no, I'm looking forward to Ring of Honor getting the memo that All Elite Wrestling shirts are not allowed, and future episodes of Ring of Honor TV just being a sea of shirtless people. Just all their TV episodes from now are just shirtless dudes everywhere watching the wrestling.
Well, hopefully Roosh can just sell Ingo Bonable's merch or something. I don't know.
Anyway, we move on and we get another Tag Wars match. This one was Willie Mack and Colt Cabana against Kenny King and a mystery partner. It was MVP. MVP is back in Ring of Honor.
How do you look?
Chubby.
Yeah, fair enough.
He looked MVP has not taken care of himself.
Be careful, MVP. Chris Jericho might tweet about that. Tweet about you like that.
Yeah, look, just the jumpsuit's not flattering. He'd probably look better in Tommy Dreamer gear, but it is what it is. Maybe he'll lose some weight if he's going to stick around, because obviously he'll be back to working out or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, he just looked like they're talking about how he's been training in jiu-jitsu and stuff. Maybe he's just changed his training. He could be completely jacked under there, but he's just like filled out like Rhino,
Okay, fair enough.
Because Rhino was always big, but like like when you actually saw him with the straps down or whatever, it was like, wait, how are those muscles?
Yeah.
Rhino now is a relaxed muscle, but back in ECW when you're like, how is that muscle? It looks like fat, smells like fat, walks like fat, but no, it's muscle. It was really weird, and so maybe MVP has that whole thing going on, like the real powerlifter gut stuff,
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway, but he looked chubby in the gear. That's all I'm saying, and I don't really care anyway. What was good was his wrestling. He's still a good wrestler. So, it's a match against Willie Mack and Colt Cabana. It's always going to be good. Beatdown Clan. They're calling themselves Beatdown Clan, so a callback to the TNA days. I guess TNA don't have any copyrights or anything. So, yeah, Beatdown Clan win and advance to the next round. Then we get Rocky Romero. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Rocky Romero defeats Jeff Cobb and Dalton Castle in a Proving Ground match.
I like that Rocky Romero is getting a victory, but Proving Ground match isn't Proving Ground match essentially for the Ring of, like the younger guys in Ring of Honor?
No, anyone can have a Proving Ground match. Proving Ground match is just where you're against the champion, and if you win, you're getting a title shot. There's immediate reward Proving Ground matches, where if you win, the match restarts and it becomes a title match. Or there are ones where it's basically just if you pin the champ, you get a title match, which is any other match anyway in any other promotion. But in this one, when you're against the champ and it's a non-title match, they call it a Proving Ground match.
Okay,
right, and so Rocky Romero gets the pin on Dalton Castle, though, not on the champion. But he rolls up Dalton off a bangarang into like a schoolboy, not a schoolboy, into like a cradle, and gets the 3 count. And he looks shocked, and Jeff Cobb looks shocked, and they shake hands. And he's like, "Do you want to do this now? Do you want to do this now?" And Rocky's like, "No. We'll do this another time. I'm very tired. We're not doing this right now." And they shake hands. And so, yeah, Rocky's going to get a TV title shot.
No, good on him. I fucking love Rocky Romero. I've been watching a lot of his older stuff lately. He's so good.
Watch his match from night 3, which we'll get to very soon, and we can talk about how great he is then. Lifeblood, Haskins, and Hot Sauce with Fin Juice. So there's the 4 of them. Have a match against Briscoes, Shane Taylor, Silas Young, and Bully Ray comes out with them, and they make it a 5-on-4, right? So Bully Ray, Shane Taylor, Silas Young, and the Briscoes 5-on-4 against Haskins, Hot Sauce, and Fin Juice. The numbers game gets advantage real quick, and it's a brutal beatdown. It spills to the outside of the ring, all that sort of stuff. And then when it looks like everything is lost and in despair, Bandito makes his way out to the ring. He's limping from the knee attack from Silas Young the night before, but he makes his way out. Todd allows it, and he gets the hot tag, and Bandito just comes in and has an absolute fire sequence with the Briscoes, like doing basically like a head scissors takedown at the same time as doing like a crossroads-ish DDT to the other. Like, it was amazing. He takes down everyone and gets the win with the 21+ German. Like, he literally clears out everyone and wins this match all on his own. It wasn't the 21+. He hit that, but it was with a frog splash that he got the win. And yeah, it was a really good match. They're clearly doing like a Plague bad, Lifeblood good. And Bandito is just an absolute fucking star. The pop he got when he came out was insane.
I'm so excited to see him again in March. I saw him for the first time live, obviously, last year on the World Series Wrestling Tour. He's so entertaining. And he's just got a natural presence. Like, I mean, so many Lucha guys do. And Lucha guys are underappreciated. I mean, look at the rise of Penta and Phoenix and how much I'm loving Lucha again. There is star power in Lucha still.
Oh, there's a guy in AAA that I really like called El Hijo del Vikingo.
Vikingo? Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. He's amazing.
Dude, fucking incredible. If he's not in All Elite Wrestling quickly, I don't know what's wrong. He was on an Impact taping recently, and I've seen some GIFs and stuff. It's insane. There's some real talent down there, of course.
Yeah, but Bandito is
an absolute star, and it's... Yeah, they're really pushing him hard in Ring of Honor, which is a good thing for the company because he could be the face of the company, really. And then we move on to night 3. So just to give you an idea, too, the pop he got on night 2 when he came out for the save in this match, it was like the only time the crowd popped. Like, the crowd were terrible. Like, it was a small crowd, and it was a terrible crowd the entire night. And that's contrasted hugely by night 3. They're in a much fuller room. It's still a small room, probably about the same size crowd as the night before, but it's fuller and it looks better. And because it's fuller as well, they're all amped up. They're all on top of it. It's like we talked about with World Series Wrestling versus the New Japan tour, right? You got to be in a smaller room because you're all on top of each other and you're getting excited about the grabs. And it was very evident with this crowd because this crowd was incredible and it added so much to the show. Like, they were hot. From the opening match, Shinobi Shadow Squad, right, which is Cheeseburger, Eli Isom, and Ryan Nova. So they're essentially the young boys of Ring of Honor. They're the Future of Honor guys. And they're taking on the Young Lions, that Coughlin, Connors, those guys. And it's a 3-on-3 match with the Young Lions and the Ring of Honor Young Boys. Obviously, Shinobi Shadow Squad win. It was a really good match. Young Lion matches usually are. It was a really good match, really basic, but really entertaining. And the crowd were fucking hot for every second of it. And they didn't slow down almost all night. Like, there were a couple of spots where they lulled a bit, but the wrestlers tended to get them back into it by the climax of each match. And it just made the entire show so much better. Like, this is probably the second best show of the weekend other than NXT TakeOver and the Women's Rumble match itself. Like, this was my favorite show that I watched this weekend, just because of how excited the crowd were. And this was the one that I was watching right before we recorded, and you were like, "Oh, can we go or whatever?" And I'm like, "We're gonna wait because I'm really enjoying this show, so I'm gonna finish this show. I'm not just gonna go off results. I'm gonna watch it." So it was really good. Then after that Young Lion match, the Kingdom come out, and again the crowd are super into it. They're chanting "Real World Champ, Real World Champ" for Matt Taven, which, I mean, he's meant to be the heel, but they're into it. And Taven congratulates the Powder Puff Boys on their victory. I thought that was a good reference. And he says he's going to fight them for the titles, the 6-man titles, but not tonight. And then they attack, and then out come Dalton and the boys. And Dalton and the boys, like, if you want to fight someone for the titles, why not fight us? And it's like, well, he just said he doesn't want to fight or whatever. Well, let's do this. And they have a match. And Kingdom defeat Dalton and the boys, and this was real interesting. The finish comes when one of the boys accidentally crashes into Dalton Castle, and then he eats a House of 1,000 Corpses. And then after the match, the boys like come over to him to check on him, and he pushes them both down, like, really aggressively.
Interesting.
And then he goes to leave the ring, and then he like sort of shakes his head, thinks better of it, turns around, picks them both up. They hug and stuff, and they leave. We could start to see some tension between Dalton and the boys.
Interesting. I like that.
Yeah. So they're sowing the seeds for that. And then we move on. Tracy Williams. Now, this is one where the crowd sort of started to die down a little. Hot Sauce Tracy Williams defeats Rhett Titus in a one-on-one encounter. It was a really good match, and the crowd got right into it by the end. In no short part thanks to one of my new favorite wrestlers, Rhett Titus, flexing and posing and flirting with Tennille Dashwood of Lifeblood, who was at ringside with Tracy Williams. And he keeps flirting with her. Eventually he has Tracy Williams down, and he goes outside the ring, and he's like flexing for her, and he touches her. And as soon as he touches her, she just knocks him flat on his ass.
Wow.
Big pop. he pops up just in time to eat a huge knee from Tracy Williams, gets rolled back in the ring, taps out to the label lock. The crowd was super hot for that finish, because it was like he was being real annoying towards Tenille Dashwood, like real annoying. And she was just like, ugh, whatever, like, you're gross, focus on your match, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then when he finally touched her, she was like, oh, it's on. It was brilliant. It was very well done.
Rhett is criminally underrated. Oh, God, that was tough to get that word out. He's criminally underrated. I used to be in love with him when he was tagging with Kenny King. All Night Express, I want to say the tag team was. I can't off the top of my head.
Right.
But when they used to tag together, they were like facing in the likes of, O'Reilly and Fish and War Raiders and all that on a regular basis. And they used to be one of the top teams in Ring of Honor. I used to love Rhett Titus. I thought he was awesome. And then when Kenny King went to Impact, Rhett Titus, unfortunately, kind of moved back down the card in Ring of Honor. And I'm glad to see he's starting to move back up a bit because, he's criminally underrated.
Yeah, he's great. I really enjoy him. I didn't like him when he was in the Dogs tag team, but I'm enjoying his work at the moment as a solo guy.
Yeah.
So then we move on. Villain Enterprises defeat the Beatdown Clan and the Bouncers in the semi-final. PCO ends up with the moonsault, which is super over. Like, the crowd get on their feet when he sets up that moonsault. Then we get the next semi-final. Finn Juice defeat Lethal and Gresham and Coast to Coast. So Finn Juice versus Villain Enterprises will be the main event. Kelly Klein defeats Sumi Sakai by referee stoppage. This match was really good. I enjoyed this match. Kelly Klein's doing this thing at the moment with Camp Klein, or the Klein crew, or whatever they're calling them. It's like a bunch of people in track jackets. They're basically her own young boys.
Okay.
And they follow her around everywhere. Like, it's boys and girls. They're like her trainees or whatever. And so, like, whenever someone gets her on the apron or whatever, they all crowd them out so that if they knock her off, they catch her, put her back on the apron, stuff like that. They're there to help her out, towel her off. It's really good. But yeah, she does. They do the whole Sumi Sakai doesn't tap out; she passes out, and then the Twisted Sisters attack Sakai just to add insult to injury. Then we get Jeff Cobb and Willie Mack defeating Shane Taylor and Silas Young by DQ because Bully Ray interferes, and then Silas Young hits a low blow on Jeff Cobb. During the match, though, Shane Taylor and Silas Young did a bit similar to the Silas and Bully bit from a few months ago, where they're just fighting amongst themselves, heel on heel infighting. So I feel like they're still building towards a Silas face turn eventually. But the big story of this match was Willie Mack is just insane.
Oh, he's super impressive.
You talk about criminally underrated. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Willie Mack's definitely on that as well. He's fantastic. I love Willie Mack.
The NWA guy, Joe Gailey? I think Joe Galley. The new announcer.
Yep. Is it Joe Gailey? Yeah.
Yeah, he's the new announcer for NWA. He was on commentary. I really like his commentary voice.
Okay.
He sounds like a sports announcer. I really enjoyed commentary for this match. And he was there because Willie Mack's the NWA North American champion, obviously. Yeah. So I'm really excited about NWA and their alliances.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this Jim Crockett Cup. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Then Colt Cabana gives us the news that Sumi Sakai is concussed. She suffered a concussion in her match and is being treated at a local hospital. Not sure if shoot or work. I have no idea. So I'll keep you updated on that. Potentially Sumi Sakai suffered a concussion for real. I do not know. I haven't seen anything in any of the news, so I'm assuming it's a work, but I have no idea. Then we get the match of the weekend, the one match people should watch. This was the best match of the weekend other than Johnny Gargano and Ricochet. This was Bandito defeating Rocky Romero. This match was just really good. I was just like, fuck, Rocky can still go. Like, you don't know it from watching New Japan because he only does, 6-man tags and he commentates, but he can still go, man.
Yep. Rocky Romero is one of my favorite guys in pro wrestling altogether. I kind of prefer one of his friends, Chico El Luchador. I think he's just a little bit better. That's a paid advertisement, obviously. No, he still can go. I know New Japan have sort of put him into more of a managerial role, but with this relationship with Ring of Honor or New Japan USA, whatever you want to call it, it feels like he's going to get a lot more airtime in between that relationship. I'm happy for him because, yeah, he still can go. And he's a hell of a character. He can talk better than nearly anyone in pro wrestling.
His facial reactions are brilliant too.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on, because we're almost approaching the hour mark, which is where we normally like to stop it, and we haven't even finished Ring of Honor yet. So moving on, Marty Scurll defeats Mark Haskins. This was another really good match too. They ended it with the rolling pin spot, which I always like when that happens. Kelly Klein comes out to commentary and calls out Mayu Iwatani. We know Mayu Iwatani is coming back. You talked about it last week. She's coming back to Women of Honor. I hope Mayu Iwatani shuts Kelly Klein up, takes the title, but that's where we're at. Kelly Klein is calling out Mayu Iwatani. Then Villain Enterprises in the main event defeat Finn Juice to win the Tag Wars, meaning they will get a spot in the Crockett Cup. It also means that they will get a title shot at the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles. I expect them to take it. Villain Enterprises are being pushed hard. They don't adhere to the Code of Honor before or after the match, which I found interesting. And then, King gets them with the Gonzo Bomb. But the real story here was after the match. The Briscoes attack Villain Enterprises, and PCO just no-sells everything. He cops 10 unprotected chair shots to the face. And he gets put through a table with the Froggy Bow. Through a table to the outside.
Wow.
And he sits straight back up and just throws a chair back at Mark Briscoe. Like, it was insane. And I feel like PCO is going to die one day in the ring. It's terrifying, the things he does.
Wouldn't surprise me if he does.
Terrifying.
It wouldn't be surprising. But I'm not too sure the official age, but he is definitely one of the top 5 50-plus wrestlers in the world right now. Like,
yeah, he's doing well, but man, calm down with those chair shots to the head.
Right?
Really.
Yeah.
It's bad. Like, one of them broke over his head. Like, it was legit, like, old school ECW chair shots. It was terrifying. I mean, he gave a couple to the Briscoes as well, but nowhere near as many as he took. Yeah. It was insane. And the news, I guess, is Rush starts the live events with Ring of Honor in February. That's all I've got for Ring of Honor. Let's talk New Japan, because, like I said, it was a big week for Ring of Honor. So.
Yeah, right. And let's get into New Japan, because, kind of it's going to sound much the same, because, let's be honest, New Japan USA is pretty much Ring of Honor. No, but look, the last week has been kind of quiet. There was, like I said, at the start, there was one dark show on Saturday night. I call it dark show because I don't think it's even uploaded in Japanese. Like, I don't think it's uploaded at all at this stage. I could be wrong. There was a show tonight that I haven't managed to watch yet. Tomorrow night, we do have... So, Road to the Beginning technically started on Saturday, but like I said, it was dark, so I can't really talk about it.
Yeah. But here's the thing with the Road to New Beginnings shows, though. There's literally nothing happening on them. Except for night 2. Kushida and Tanahashi is the only thing of note, really.
Well, no.
Am I wrong?
So the Tuesday night, that's the only thing for that show, which is the biggest thing in a Road 2 in history.
Absolutely. No, look, it's definitely worth watching.
Yeah,
I'm not saying otherwise, but yeah.
No, like I don't think any Road 2 shows had a thing like this. This is huge. Like, this is like Wrestle Kingdom worthy, this match. Tanahashi Kushida, like, it's crazy. It's going to be sad to see Kushida go. This is going to be a fantastic match. Brilliant. The Wednesday show, the only match to note, any interesting match, is there is a never openweight 6-man tag title defense from the Bullet Club. Ishimori, Tama, and Tanga take on the team of Taguchi, Yano, and Makabe. So that's somewhat, I'm guessing Bullet Club just retained that quite easily. But yeah, that's the only thing on Wednesday night that's worth note. However, the New Beginning tour, well, the New Beginning goes in 2 different directions this week. One set of roster, well, not really any of the New Japan roster, goes to USA. The other half stay behind and do... Yeah.
There's been some controversy about that.
Yeah, look, let's touch on it straight away. So, look, So there are 3 shows. This is US time, as I say this, so obviously it'll be the next day for us. So Wednesday they're in California. Friday they're in North Carolina, and Saturday they're in Tennessee. So that's technically Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday for us. I'm guessing all of them will be on New Japan World. Yeah, look, let's be honest. These are pretty much the same rosters as the Ring of Honor road shows that you were just talking. Pretty much the same roster. Gresham, Cobb, Marty, Brody, Great Khan has joined this roster. I like that. Colt Cabana, Tracy Williams. So pretty much
Colt Cabana on a New Japan show.
Yeah, it's been many years. But but yeah, so it's pretty much the same roster. You know, the same young lions, all those guys, they're part of this tour. The only real notes about like anything that's interesting in these shows, great matchups, but pretty much the same matchups we've just seen that you're just talking about now anyway, minus a few characters. Like you're going to get Villain Enterprises versus Cobb and I think it's Cobb and Gresham or something like that. There's going to be some great matches along the lines. There is the US title defense from Juice Robinson against Beretta on this tour, so that will be good. Beretta finally gets his title shot. That did he earn on the Ring of Honor New Japan shows in Toronto last year? I feel he beat Cody 1-on-1 in a singles match, and he was entitled to a US title shot or something. But he finally gets.
I don't recall.
Global Wars, I think it was. Yeah. However, yeah. So that's finally going down. Another cool, interesting note. Speaking of Rocky Romero, Rocky and Beretta are tagging. They're tagging as, and they're going to officially be Roppongi Vice for one night. So that's cool. Not only do you get Beatdown Clan, you get Roppongi Vice back in 1 week. I like these old teams getting back together. But look, let's touch on the rough side of this. So obviously, there are fans in the US at all 3 of these shows that brought these tickets thinking they were going to get. I don't know, like you thought you were getting the likes of maybe like a Tanahashi or an Okada or at least the LIJ guys. LIJ guys pretty much go for most Ring of Honor, Global Wars. You think potentially like Kushida pre-retirement, Nagatas, Ligas, those sorts of characters. Like hopefully you get most of that. However, Mr. Donnie Trump, is obviously going through a lot of political bullshit in the US, and it's obviously caused a lot of shutdown with.
Let's be fair. The government shutdown thing happens all the time.
It does.
Like it's not exclusive to Trump. Like almost every government do this whole government shutdown thing in America.
Yeah,
it's a whole budget thing. It's stupid. I don't understand it at all.
But let's be real. It's Vince McMahon asking Trump to do him a favor, right? No, to stop the New Japan invasion. No, look, from what I've read is they applied for most of the visas as of November, which, is nearly 3 months ago, and they're still blocked, which obviously has led to... They weren't going to send many to start with. There was only going to be like Sho, Yo, Nagata, Liga, and I think maybe like 3 others. I can't think of the top of my head. I think Goto and Ishii were going for this, but that's about it. Like there wasn't going to be a major roster anyway, because they've thrown this tour just before the New Beginning in Sapporo this weekend. So half the major roster is going to be in Sapporo for the major show. So yeah, it's a weird booking from New Japan. Some things are out of their control, some things aren't. But look, let's be honest. We're talking about the New Japan US expansion. You got this new LA dojo, all these guys that have been performing the Ring of Honor shows with you just talking about, like the Coughlins and those sort of guys.
Look, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing them on the New Japan shows.
It's
good.
You got these guys that the likes of Trent, Beretta and Rocky and that are New Japan guys. Marty Skrull technically is a New Japan guy. They're taking that New Japan style to the USA and using an American Juice. Sorry, Juice is obviously the main one there. Finlay. It's a healthy US Japan. It's New Japan US, and if you're gonna be a New Japan US fan, you got to kind of separate. It's kind of like when Dragon Gate did Dragon Gate US. At the start it was the Dragon Kids, the Yamatos, the Tozawas, but within about 20 shows, it started being Gargano and Danielson and Galloway and those sort of guys. You kind of started losing the Japanese names and turned more into American names. That's what this is going to be. New Japan USA is going to be more Ring of Honor sounding and LA Dojo sounding. It's going to be like that, and maybe people aren't going to be fans of that, but New Japan's US expansion is going to be quite like that, in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I 100% agree. I think that you're not always going to be able to take all the talent everywhere all the time. And yeah, I mean, look, the visas thing, there is valid criticism of like, look, come on, surely they could have had the visas sorted out further ahead of time or whatever. Like, but yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, it is what it is. You're still getting a New Japan structured card. You may not be getting the talent that you wish, but you look at the lineups on these cards, and they're still really, really good-looking shows.
Right.
So I don't see what the problem is. They're going to wrestle the New Japan style. The cards are going to be structured like a New Japan card. It's just slightly different talent. But is any of the talent bad?
No. I mean...
No. So what's the fucking problem?
I mean, you got Lifeblood, you got Villain Enterprises, pretty much. It's great. It's great. But let's touch on the cards this weekend. I'm not going to run through the whole cards because New Beginning in Sapporo is 2 nights. Most of it's undercard, but I'll just talk about the matches of importance. So there are 2 New Beginning shows this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. That is Australian time. So Saturday and Sunday, you're going to get 2 New Japan shows. One during the day from about lunchtime on both, which will be the US shows. Then at night, you'll get the 2 Japanese Sapporo New Beginning. So you're getting 4 New Japan shows over the course of one weekend. So for New Japan World viewers, we're going to get great action. We're going to get 2 full New Japan cards, which is fantastic each day. So on Saturday, the most important matches of the night, Sonata versus Minoru Suzuki. That's going to be fantastic. Evil versus Zack Sabre Jr. Finally, this is a match from Kings of Pro Wrestling that never got started due to Jericho's interruptions. Then you got the Dream Team, Okada and Tanahashi tagging up versus Bad Luck Fale and Jay White. So that's in the main event. So yeah, 3 cracker matches there. On the Sunday night, we've got a few title matches. It's pretty much LIJ versus Suzuki-gun. So you got the junior tag, Shingo and Bushi defending against Desperado and Kanemaru. You got the heavyweight tag of Sonata and Evil taking on Zack Sabre Jr. and Suzuki. Then you got Nato defending his IC title against Taichi in the main event. So all 5 members of LIJ could very well lose all 5 of their titles, all 3 of their titles to the 5 Suzuki-gun guys. I see Zack Sabre Jr. and Minoru Suzuki beating. Sabre and Suzuki are taking the titles from Sonata and Evil, hands down.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I see LIJ maintaining all titles.
Yeah, you can see Nato doesn't really give a shit about the IP. So
I see them maintaining all titles until they're reunited with Hiromu.
Yeah, I can see that. The only one that I have doubt on is the Sabre and Suzuki, only because that is pretty much the Suzuki-gun dream team. And obviously RevPro fans get that a lot, and they are the RevPro tag champs. So yeah,
I love the little stable war though against Suzuki-gun. I think it's great.
Yeah, perfect. I love stable wars. There is a 10-man match. I think it's on the Sunday night show with this LIJ Suzuki-gun. It's Bullet Club. I think it's Tama Tonga, Taiji, Yujiro, and Chase Owens taken on this new version of Chaos New Japan good guy team, and it's like the strangest combination of people. You're like, 4 months ago, none of these guys would ever tag. Like, what's going on? It's like Yoshihashi, Yano, but then with Makabe, and then there's like I'm just like, what the fuck is this? I'm like,
yeah, it's
I'm like, I don't like Chaos being faced. This is just so weird. But anyway, it's it is what it is. But yeah, look, so there are a lot of New Japan shows this week. I think all up, technically, I think there's about 7 shows all up this week alone. Then next week they start the next set of Road to Beginnings for Road to Beginning. I can't think of the next show. I think it's like 3 weeks away from the next Road to Beginning, which will have the Tanahashi Jay White heavyweight title match. So in 2 weeks, you're gonna have the big New Beginning show and RevPro High Stakes.
We can talk about all that as it gets closer because it's 12:30 at night and school. My daughter's first day of kindy is tomorrow. All that sort of stuff. So I mean, really, stuff that's 2 weeks away. We're going to touch on that. Next week. We're going to touch on that next week.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that's about it for New Japan. Do you have anything else you want to touch on?
No, I mean, really, the only thing I wanted to really talk about was the US controversy stuff. And you really, you nailed it. Get over it. At the end of the day, get over it. I think the shows are going to be fantastic. I'm going to be tuning in to watch. But yeah, I'm exhausted. So let's wrap it up. Where can people find you, Mikey?
At BigBoy_Mikey86 on the Twitter and Instagrams. And yeah, that's it.
I am at Greg Unchained on Twitter, at the Greg Unchained on Instagram. We collectively are the B Plus Wrestle on Twitter because wrestling wouldn't fit the B Plus Wrestling everywhere else. We have a new sponsor in the form of Muscle Hustle. Please download their app with the link in our show notes, and there's a code that you can put in the B Plus, and you'll get some goodies and what have you as well. Listen to our other shows if you want to hear the ads because we're only running it on certain shows. But I wanted to tell you, and I wanted to put it in the show notes because it's a really fun game, and I want more people to play it with. So. Other tthan that, if you want to support us, of course, check out our fine sponsors, All Aussie Travelers and Muscle Hustle. And you can support us directly at patreon.com/theb+. That's where you get ad-free episodes, you get custom episodes, call-in shows. We're doing our first call-in show tomorrow, if I'm alive. And yeah, all that good stuff, as little as $1 a month, whatever you want to support us with, all that goes back into watching global, supporting local. Like, share, subscribe, give us a 5-star review if you like what we do, and thank you so much for listening.
Bye.
Hold one. Arm drag.
You're not doing this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy. Goodbye and good night. Hold 2. Arm bar.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Dummy. Hold 3. The moss covered. 3-handle family grudungle.
Mamma mia!
It's me, Austin. It was me all along, Austin. Number 4. Armbar.